everyone, I am Bets Golden. Welcome back to the Gel Press channel. Today I'm going to be using this fun bubble wrap as well as that stamp cleaner from Brutus Monroe to create a fun little mini album. I'm going to be using this Gel Press plate right here. I am putting it on top of this awesome acrylic slab. You want to do this if you don't have a glass mat to put it on, or if you have silicone around like I do. It doesn't really play nice with that. So the acrylic slab is really nice. I will provide a link down below where you can find it, as well as everything else used in this video. This is going to be made with these fantastic metallic paints. They are acrylic. They're by Talens. They have a really wonderful broad range of brilliant pure colors, and they're made from 100% acrylic. They're high quality pigments. They're light fast, and you can thin them out with water. Plus, they're waterproof when they're dry. The kit that I am using is from Brutus Monroe. It does come pre-cut as well as scored. These are the pieces. If you're interested in that, again, I will have links provided for you down below on how you can get your hands on them. Normally I go for really bright and colorful, but this time I wanted to create an album, a little mini album that was more on the grungy side with a touch of sophistication. And that's why I decided on those beautiful metallic colors by Talens. Anyway, this album does work wonderfully with your paper, with your paints, as well as inks or anything like that. Those are the directions on how to assemble it, and I am going to speed through that process. Before I get started, though, I want to show you how I ended up creating the pages for this album. I went ahead and used this gel press. It is the 8x10. And I did a different kind of technique. I've never done this before, in which I used my brayer to kind of swirl the color into the gel press. What I wanted to do was create a really beautiful, thick type textured with more paint in some areas and less in others. And so all I did was I just took and dabbed on this paint in random areas of my gel press. I kind of wanted it to be a marbleized look. And so I did this for every page in my little album kit. And I sped up that process. And so since I sped it up so much, you can't really see what I'm doing. So for this, I just wanted to slow it down and give you a little demonstration of how I did pretty much all of the pages in the kit. And so I'm just popping on literally all of that beautiful metallic paint, a little dollop here and there. And I like the darks and the lights and the golds and the coppers. I think it's just a really beautiful blend. And then I'm taking my brayer and I'm just swirling it out. I'm kind of mixing them, but not too much. I want the color to be blendable, but also still hold its own integrity. So I don't want it blended too much. And then I just kind of go around and dab it. In addition, I do take up my bubble wrap and I pop it down on a couple places. And then I go ahead and I just take my paper and press it on. Now, I like to roll out that brayer on the back. That, to me, is a great way to clean my brayer, as well as providing just something extra on top. And I actually ended up doing this when I was creating my album, and it created both sides. I really liked how that brayered off side looks. And I'm just making sure that I have everything down. I'm brayering over it and really making sure that it's adhered nicely to my gel press plate. And then I pull it up and look how yummy that is. That is so pretty. And then here we are with this one, in which I am going to do another ghost pull on this, or my ghost print, I should say. And I'm just trying to get the majority of that up and get it nice and clean. And then I decide to go ahead and actually clean it. And this is something that you can do when you have dried paint. You can just put a little bit of white paint on, and you're just going to brayer it out. Make sure your paint was dry prior to that. You're just going to just brayer that all out, all over. Kind of a thinner layer on it. I actually have a little bit too much paint on this, so I do spend some time making sure that I brayer it out so that some of it can actually dry, and I can make sure I get a nice pull. And then you just take a piece of scratch paper. I'm going to go ahead and just use that one. I like the white over that metallic. It kind of gives a fun muted look. And I'm really making sure that those edges are brayered on nicely. And I'm peeking and it's like, oh, not quite ready yet. And I'm just going over it again and again, rubbing it, making sure that it's really nice and stuck there. And then I go ahead and pull it up. And you may not have thought that there was much on the plate. There really wasn't, but it does a nice job of cleaning that plate. All right, so here we go. This is all of this album that I did. I went ahead and used that same type technique and just had a lot of fun creating all of these pages and pockets. It was so much fun just to sit here and do this. I think that this took me about 2 hours, and I had quite a lot of pages to be able to create. I had to create a lot on this, and it was just a lot of fun, and it all blended beautifully together. Now, when I go ahead and start to fill out my album over the year, since I am using so much color, I am going to use black cardstock on everything as I'm putting my pictures in and doing my journaling. That'll just allow the eye to rest somewhere. But for this particular case, this was great. And as you can see, occasionally I would put more than one piece of paper or one of the pieces on the album, just because I didn't want to waste all that paint. And then I just ended up with some really amazing pieces that are so cute for this album. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I certainly hope that you consider doing so. If you enjoy content like this, there's lots of designers and artists that are over here that'll show you new ways that you can use your gel press and also remind you of some old ways that you can use your gel press. So this is a perfect place for the beginner and the advanced. We all had to start somewhere, right? Might as well start right here on the Gel Press channel. So I encourage you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this video, also make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Really check out that description box as well, and to find everything that we use and more information about gel press. And then I'm just using double-sided tape to adhere it. I am using the instructions provided to me in the Brutus Monroe album. So this ends up being an 8x8 album with 25 pieces, and it's interactive. It's really cool. As you can tell, I'll do a walkthrough when I'm done so you can see all of these pieces together. I did end up switching out my tape because I was not too thrilled with it, and I'll link the one I like down below. All right, so this is the complete album. It's just lovely. The way that the light hits it, what you can see different parts of the design, those two pockets right there, lots of room for hidden journaling, different pictures, and the directions were super easy to follow. I really enjoyed putting this together. Plus, it's pretty sturdy, and the paper that was used was really nice. I might end up putting some magnets down for that waterfall piece, but look how pretty these pages ended up. So they're nice and different, but they all coordinate together, and it was just so much fun. The stamp, the cleaning utensil that I used for stamps that was by Brutus Monroe, that created a lot of fun texture too. So look around your craft room and, you know, through your trash. You might find some pretty cool stuff to create some interesting design elements on your gel press. But this is just a spot that I can put some pictures on. These pieces are each 4.5 by 6. So I probably am going to end up using about a 4x5 pictures on those, if I end up using pictures on them. The whole album is 4 pages, but you can get so much in on them. I just love how it looks. It all came together so nicely. So if you stick with a color family, especially if they're sold together, usually you can't go wrong. And this one definitely did the trick. Now for the title and the cover page, I actually ended up using some of those pulls that I did on regular copy paper to clean my gel press in the process of this. I really liked how they ended up looking. So I just cut out 3 different circles, and I'm just using liquid glue to adhere this. And then Royal Talens has some amazing acrylic markers that I couldn't wait to get my hands on. And I used them not only to finish off this cover, but also the title. I was able to color on wood with them. They're so very cool. I'm really impressed with them. This has 4 colors in it. I ended up using the black and the red, but there's also a yellow and a green. You just want to shake them really well before each use. And then if it's a brand new time, like if they're straight out of the box and you haven't used them, you're going to press them several times. Don't get mad at it. Just press it several times until that paint starts to come towards the tip, and then you can go ahead and use them. This actually did really well over the acrylic paint that was on the album. So you can paint over the paint, which I thought was cool. Plus, it's pretty fast drying. I couldn't believe how fast it was. I'm totally in love with these pens. I think it might be the favorite thing I've used so far. I really love them. The paint was fantastic. I didn't think we could top that, but those pens are something. And then I went ahead and I found just a whole bunch of different letters in my stash that were random. I wanted that random funky feel. And I didn't really like how light that wood was. So I decided to pull in. I was going to do them all in black, but I thought that might look kind of odd next to the V that also was in black. I don't know, I was being kind of weird. So I decided to go ahead and just paint this with that red acrylic marker, and it painted beautifully. I love how this ended up, and I'm so impressed with the fact that it actually not only went over my acrylic on a pretty smooth texture, but my acrylic paint, the metallics, but it also is working nicely on this wood. So really great thing for your stash are these pins. And then I did go ahead and just also color the edges, which was really fun to do with the markers. I was pretty impressed with these. Lots of fun there. And then I did go ahead and do the black too. And it ended up just being really nice, really smooth. There's my title. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on to the front of my album. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Also, make sure you check out my channel. I am Bets Golden. I do a lot of stuff over on my YouTube channel, and you can always find Gel Press and myself on Instagram. Until next time, I'm Bets Golden. Happy crafting.